Tonight, residents of Los Angeles, California are going for more than a week now with hundreds of National Guard troops and Marines trying to keep the peace in the city that's been besieged by protesters for more than a week. That after a federal appeals court temporarily halts a judge's ruling against President Trump's deployment of troops in response to the ICE raid protests. Thanks for joining us on News Channel 3 live at 6 on this Friday. We're glad you're here. I'm Andy Dominiani. LA is far from the only city with protests happening right now. While some have popped up in other major cities, tomorrow there are more than 1,000 other protests expected to begin around the country in cities large and small. The protests are being called by their organizers the No Kings protests, and millions are expected to come out. Folks say they're pushing back against everything from federal budget cuts made by the Trump administration, federal illegal immigration raids, foreign policy, and more. This comes as a military parade is scheduled for the Army's 250th birthday tomorrow, which also falls on President Trump's 79th birthday. We know dozens of protests are happening here in West Michigan tomorrow as well, and that includes Kalamazoo. News Channel 3's Autumn Pitcher is live along Drake Road, where folks will line the streets of Kalamazoo tomorrow. And Autumn, organizers have told you today they have a strong message for the president that they want to be heard.
Yes, organizers are calling on the president to quote unquote be dethroned, comparing his actions to those of a king instead of acting as a president. Now, Saturday's protests in Kalamazoo will be held right here on Drake Road, and organizers tell me they do hope to line the streets. President Donald Trump planning to ring in his 79th birthday with a parade in D.C. honoring the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary. But amid this celebration, millions of people across the country are gearing up to protest. Organizers with the so-called No Kings protests have taken to their website saying in part, they've defied our courts, deported Americans, and slashed our services, hoping to send a clear message to the Trump administration Saturday, there are no kings in America.
We are here to say that this is not about the people that are in power. This is about the power of the people.
Each dot on this map represents where a protest is being held, with 13 planned in West Michigan, including in Grand Rapids, Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, South Haven, and more. I spoke with Attorney General Dana Nessel, who supports rally goers exercising their First Amendment rights, but cautions them to do so with peace.
We want to see is few arrests, hopefully no arrests tomorrow.
Criticizing the president for deploying the National Guard in Los Angeles during protests against federal immigration raids.
We don't want to see the U.S. military, lining the streets in the state of Michigan, and there'll be no cause for that.
And organizers say they do intend to keep the peace.
We plan on having a peaceful protest. We are working with KDPS and doing everything that we have been planning on doing for weeks.
Now, we did reach out to local law enforcement agencies, including the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety and the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office, and they do tell me they are aware of Saturday's protests in Kalamazoo, and they tell me they will be prepared if anything does escalate. They also say they've been communicating with organizers and say they will be working very hard to make it an atmosphere that is peaceful and safe. Live in Kalamazoo, Autumn Pitcher, News Channel 3.